Nick World. Welcome to another episode of Delusional Nick Fan Network, where we bring you that Knicks content that you need. Welcome to another episode of Knicks Weekly, Part 2, where the Knicks take on three teams this week. We take on the Atlanta Hawks, Philadelphia 76ers, and the Boston Celtics. Whew. Three tough games. Let's kind of dig into the Atlanta Hawks real quick. So Atlanta Hawks is pretty much they're 4-3. They're fifth in the East. Pretty much putting up 116 points. But they also giving up opponents 116.9. So there, the Knicks might have a stretch there, as far as putting up enough points to take care of Atlanta. So you get my stats on that one. I believe Knicks will probably take that one, even though they're pretty much in the same boat as the Knicks. They win games that they're supposed to, teams under 500. But then, of course, they lose games to teams that are in, the early playoff race, as you can see. But teams that are producing. With wins coming against Houston, Orlando, and Detroit. Twice they beat Detroit. But then, of course, lost against Charlotte, lost against Milwaukee, Toronto, and the Pelicans. So pretty much the same as the Knicks. So we're pretty much in that area. So I kind of give the Knicks the upper hand with that. Regarding the stats, they got DeJounte Murray pretty much averaging 26 and 7. The man is putting up 45% from the field goal percentage, 40 from 3. Remember when we was questioning DeJounte Murray and his 3-point shooting? The Knicks shouldn't get him because he can't space the floor. Well, my man is shooting 40% with the 2 made threes. That's fine with me. Then of course John Collins kind of took a step back this year with 13 and 10. And he's usually been aggressive, which probably averaging like 18 and 19 a year before that. But which bring you to the Nick killer himself, Mr. Mr. F. Trey Young himself, who averaged 29 and 9. Who might be a good matchup though with JB though. It's very interesting to see who the Knicks are going to put on Trey Young. Will Brunson off the top go against Trey Young, or would they put Evan Fournier on Trey Young, or would they put RJ Barrett? Trying to figure out that starter lineup of who they're going to put. Really sums up that game because it's tough because you still have DeJounte Murray out there that you got to chase around. So either or, I believe they go with. It's tough to kind of figure that out on the fly, but or to kind of predict what Tibbs want to do on a defensive end. But they might go with Brunson to kind of start it out, and then you might shuffle players in and out to deal with that. So the Knicks for me. I believe the Knicks pull that one out to start Wednesday with a W at home, which is protect the home court. Which is the mindset the Knicks need to have going into the season. Protect home court. Do what you got to do on that aspect. I do want to kind of look at the record. As you can see, Milwaukee pretty much number one in the East. That's the team that we lost to. Then Cleveland came in the second at 5-1, another team that we lost to. Boston, who we're facing this week. Atlanta is in fifth with 4-3. Philly's also another team that we're facing that's in sixth. But as you can see, the Knicks are 500 with 3-3. But hopefully, if we beat Atlanta, we would be 4-3, pretty much with another split or tie. With Atlanta kind of moving up. Well, not a split because they would obviously drop to 500 and we will move up. So hopefully we'll get that fifth place. We'll see. I do want to bring up these team stats because my Knicks are no longer in the points top 5 of points per game. But let's see where we rank. Oh no, okay, well maybe we are at points. We are. So we're tied. Excuse me, we're tied with Dallas in the points per game aspect. So I'm fine with that. I'm feeling a little bit better. We're back with that, so that's fine with the 117. Then of course in the rebounds, we're actually not number one anymore. We're pretty much 2, which is totally fine with me. But that kind of ends it with my Knicks. Actually, I know we're at the bottom with points in the paint and second chance. We definitely need to continue with that. That'll be very, very helpful for the Knicks going forward. It's just producing second chance points and points in the paint. And then, of course, rebounding. We need to continue with that. And I think they're also in like loose ball categories, as you can see. Yeah. We're in that category. So, and then deflection per game. So we're playing defense. Should be better. See, look, percentage of points in the paint. We're kind of tops with that. Which is perfectly fine with me. Let's continue with that. Now let's move on to the second team, which is a away game down in Philly. It's crazy. Philly right now is 4-4. As you can see, there are 6 in the East. Pretty much they're averaging about 110 points per game. But their opponent's points, it's 108, which is the 6th best in the league. So they are playing great defense. They're actually coming off of a 3-game winning streak, which pretty much of some good playoff teams. Raptors, Bulls, and Wizards are pretty much all teams that are currently in position to be in the playoffs. So there's no slouch they've been playing. And Maxey has been playing out of his mind. You have Maxey averaging 23 points, which that should be quickly if he would have gotten the minutes. If we didn't have JB and Derrick Rose, quickly clearly would have been averaging pretty much over 23. Then you have my old non-Nick favorite player, which is James Harden. James Harden is putting up 21 and 10, as expected. Then you have Embiid, who's still going to be in the runner-up for MVP as he was in the last 2 years, with 27 and 9. So you literally have 3 guys on this team putting up numbers. And then I believe J. Cole on there is averaging 13. And we all know who I mean by when I mentioned J. Cole. Right, guys? You pretty much know who I'm referring to. Forgive me. When I mention J. Cole, that is Tobias Harris here. That is Tobias Harris, who is probably putting up, 13 points and 5 rebounds. So it's really looking like 3-headed snake with Maxey, James, and Embiid. That game in Philly's going to be tough. Do I remember the last time we won in Philadelphia? And mind you, my guys, we always take a road trip out to Philly and watch the games. I don't know if we're going to do it this year. We might do it next year. Like if they visit Philly, usually like in January or February, we usually go during that time period. Right now it's like holiday time period for work, so we're busy with work. So I think Knicks take a L, and we take a L in Philly. It's tough winning in Philly, especially when you got to do it Embiid, James, and Maxey. It's going to be tough. We're going to make it a contest like we always do early in the half. Third quarter, we always come out flat in Philly, and pretty much the game is kind of wide open in the fourth. So I do believe Philly pretty much do us dirty. and we're 1-1 on this road trip so far. And then we're back home, I believe, in Beantown. So we had a home away, and now we're home. Sorry, at the Garden. I believe so. Let me double check that. I have a feeling that I could be off on that last one. Let's see the schedule. So the schedule for Boston. I gotta see. Go back to my teams. Go to Knicks. The Knickerbockers. So, yes, the Knicks are home against Beans against the Boston Celtics. Boston is 4-2. They are currently third in the East, pretty much averaging 116 points. So obviously my Knicks go at a higher clip, which is literally one bucket. But Boston plays defense better than the Knicks. So now this one is tough because we have won some games against Boston, but that was earlier on the year. That was when pretty much Emeka Udoka was new to Boston and they were getting acclimated to their system. Pretty much they got rolling ever since then, and I don't think we beat Boston. Yeah, I don't think we beat Boston ever since then. So, especially with Jalen Brunson averaging 25 points, Jason Tatum pretty much averaging 30, two-headed monsters, and I believe everybody else is in the teens. So that game can be a 50-50 depending on how we defend. Because I remember the season opener where Evan Fournier went to work, Julius Randle went to work, RJ Barrett went to work. So this one it's an iffy because Boston can lose. Why? Because if you stop the two-headed monsters who are ball dominant, I figure ball dominant players are a little bit easier to defend rather than when the ball kind of flux and moves. This is a new coach that they have. So I don't know if it's a new system or new philosophy. As weird as it is, I say my Knicks pull this one out. We go 2-1 in this week. Especially we're playing on a Saturday, which doesn't really mean anything. But and is on a back-to-back too. I forgot the Philly game is on a Friday. This Boston game is a Saturday. So coming off of that loss in Philly might fuel the Knicks, to succeed and propel and get this W at home, which we need to defend at home, which would literally put us at 5-0 at home if we win the game against Atlanta and we win the game against Boston. So Knicks don't prove me wrong and go 3-0. That would be beautiful. If you prove me wrong and go 3-0. But I do think this week the Knicks go 2-1 on this road trip. Yeah. Leave some comments below on what do you think will be this road trip. I know my guy Angel will probably say we'll go 3-0, which is probably not going to happen, especially against that Sixers game. But then even with the Boston game, this is a tough 3 games period. We can easily lose these 3 games, but I think we prepare. I think we'll be prepared for Atlanta because they faced them so many times in the regular season. We've beaten Atlanta. I think we have a better record against Atlanta in the regular season. It's just the playoffs where we kind of played horrible, which is weird. I don't know why they called Trae Young the Nick Killer. He put up great numbers, but we have a better winning percentage in the regular season. Philly, no chance. I figure that's on the edge on how I felt with Milwaukee. But the Celtics, I do feel good about that Celtics game. Even though I'm 50-50, I'm going to go on wax and pretty much say we win that. And let's see, because so far my predictions on episode 1, I really wanted to say 2-2. But my emotion stepped in, and I'm like, nah, we're gonna beat the Cavs. This one, would I bet money on this? Probably not, because I'm not a betting man. But we'll go 2-1 this week. Knicks prevail, and prepare for the following week. So appreciate you for stopping by. Deuces.
You gon' do it if I say so. I'ma do it for the pesos. I fell in love with the